what are your thoughts about the divide, the experience of Black people in our industry, what they're going through, how they need to sort of act, perhaps? We've heard of code switching, um, the emotional burden or the opportunities. Just give us your thoughts.
Sure. I mean, this has been a real challenge, I think, for our industry overall, because we've never really paid attention to how much we've not included the understanding of Black culture and the history of why we are where we are. Uh, we've been living this, double life, as a lot of people, call it, or code switching or wearing the mask for quite a while, because I think we understood that you weren't going to necessarily be heard in your, natural voice. I've been fortunate to work in, multicultural advertising, which focuses on the community of which I am a part, which required me to be speaking in my authentic voice, because that would be the only way to express what the communities needed, and making sure that brands understood that and that that's demystified. But you've got to recognize that there's not many agencies like mine around, which means there are not many opportunities for people of color to come as their full selves to work, especially in the advertising industry. So got a long way to go in terms of what true inclusion looks like in our world and in our ecosystem in particular. And that has come to bear in this moment. And I think what you hear is, fatigue. And the fatigue is coming from having to switch on and off uh, in a way that's not natural. And I think that's been revealed in this moment in a way that I don't think anyone had imagined.
So, what would you like people to understand about the Black experience that they don't?
Well, the fact of the matter is, Black Americans in particular have built this country. And there is a lot of pride in that has been tremendously overlooked and undervalued. And we have a system now that really does show that most times than not, it's not in our favor. And it's, ultimately not our fault that it's not in our favor. I heard a wonderful gentleman who's an author of How to Be an Anti-Racist, and his name is Ibrahim Kidney. And he draws a beautiful parallel of where we are now against having metastatic cancer. And, we are really talking about the fact that America has metastatic racism. And we've got to do exactly what a surgeon would do, or an oncologist would do in that moment. We would go and we would dismantle or take the tumor out, that is, causing the blockage. After we do that, we would do, rounds of chemo to flush the system and ensure that we are, making sure that the cancer is gone. And in that regard, we're talking about, our systems that are in place that require more, or, everything going on with our communities inside our industry. And then the last thing you would do, of course, would be to check in and make sure that it hasn't come back. And that's really key to where we are right now. We've got to really look at this as a systemic change overall. We're framing it in a way to say, it's 3 A's, right? The first thing you've got to do is acknowledge and assess what's going on. The second is come up with actions that can make sure that you are hitting that target. And then the last thing we have to do is be accountable. And that's the part around, D&I or growth markets or multicultural marketing that has never really happened. And that's been about holding people to account, continuing to do something, even if you don't necessarily see the value immediately, that there's value in it long term. And most businesses have no problem investing in growth, but there's always seemed to have been a challenge in investing in the growth in multicultural markets, and most importantly in this moment, the Black market.
So, Monique, let me ask you, how you've sort of experienced this moment around the George Floyd murder and the upheaval and the focus on racial inequality and injustice. How's that make you feel? And does it make you hopeful or depressed, or how does it make you feel?
I think it's all of those emotions. I wish I could say that, there's one, but there's many. I'm a mother of two beautiful Black boys. I'm married to an amazing Black man, and I don't wake up any morning, and I hadn't even before COVID, where I didn't worry. I worry about my husband, going on the road every day and quite possibly having a bad encounter. And that's something, unfortunately, as a Black woman and a family that we have always had to worry about. So, that's always been there, and it's just been more heightened in this moment. So the tears are real when I have them. And it's always now been about looking at my sons who are 6 and 4 and just fighting as hard as I can to make sure that once they do become of age and, so hopefully not a Tamir Rice age, that this is not a problem. This is not something that they have to deal with. But unfortunately, I'm in this moment now, and I don't believe we will solve this in their lifetime. I'm hoping we make some strides, but that's a tremendous concern. But then, with respect to the work that I'm in every day, I'm extremely dedicated. I'm not hopeful. There's no room and hope right now. This is about being dedicated, about doubling down on our purpose. This is what Uniworld has been doing for the last 51 years, and we currently now are needed more than ever to bring our expertise to bear and ensure that the voices of the underserved and overlooked are heard. So, I live in both worlds, and I, go to work every day intentionally, and with complete dedication and understanding that what we do every day is important and that it's more and more important. And we want to make sure that everyone understands that. And absolutely that the value is there, and we deserve to play and participate in the revenue angle as this as well, right? Our communities need to be uplifted, and I'm proud to be a Black business owner and bring that to bear as well. And we need to do much more of that so that our communities can thrive, not only through partnership, but as a community on a whole from within.
And finally, Monique, for the young people, the young Black men and women who are watching this series and watching you, what would you tell them in terms of their career, what they're going through now, and opportunities, and some guidance?
Sure. First and foremost, be your true self. There is nothing more beautiful than your authentic self. And I believe all people can see that. And as much as we've tried to wear the mask, it doesn't work. So first and foremost, be you in every room you're in, and know that you are enough for everything that you're doing. The other thing is I encourage you to get into this industry. It's really important. Media, advertising, entertainment is a reflection of the world, and we need you. We need you to be a part of this tremendous amplification of what's happening in the world, and we need as many perspectives as are available. And I'd like for everyone to take a leap, come into this industry. Let's change it not only from the outside but from the inside as well. And I'm here to help and mentor and sponsor as many folks as we can to ensure that we get true representation so that we can all do better work.